Headlines is sponsored by Wonder Cement. एक perfect शुरुआत.
Over 61% voter turnout in Delhi Assembly Elections, counting of votes on Tuesday. Death toll due to coronavirus climbs to 813, passes 774 deaths recorded globally during 2002-2003 outbreak of SARS. Government fully alert in India. Health Secretary reviews the situation. Speaking at valedictory function of Defence Expo 2020 in Lucknow, Raskha Mantri Rajnath Singh says Defence Expo has been successful in projecting Uttar Pradesh's potential as defence manufacturing hub. Defence Expo to remain open for public today. Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Mahinda Rajapaksa, calls on President Ram Nath Kovind. President says a stable and prosperous Sri Lanka is in the best interest of India. In Thailand, at least 21 people killed and many injured when a Thai soldier opened fire at multiple places in the city of Korat, northeast of Bangkok. In hockey, Indian men's team defeat world champions Belgium by 2-1 in the men's FIH Pro League in Bhubaneswar.
Headlines was sponsored by Wonder Cement. एक perfect शुरुआत.
Good morning, you're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the Bulletin. In the next half an hour, we're getting out of everything that's been making it to the headlines. Top story first, Delhi recorded over 61% voter turnout on Saturday, down from 67.47% in 2015 Assembly election. Chief Electoral Officer of Delhi, Dr. Ranbir Singh, said that the election passed off peacefully in the national capital.
Overall, the entire process was extremely peaceful and smooth, and it was peaceful partly because a lot of enforcement and a lot of effort to create a conducive atmosphere on ground was taken by the election machinery and the police machinery in Delhi.
Voting started on a slow pace in morning, but as the day progressed, large number of people came out to exercise their franchise at the different polling booths. A total of 672 candidates are in the fray for the 70-member assembly. Now all eyes are fixed on Tuesday when results will be announced. In the last assembly elections in 2015, Aam Aadmi Party had 167 seats, BJP bagged 3 seats, while Congress failed to win even a single seat. BJP leader and MP Meenakshi Lekhi has dismissed the exit polls for Delhi which showed Aam Aadmi Party winning, saying exit polls are not exact polls. She said that the results will be in BJP's favour.
एग्जिट पोल जो लोग चला रहे हैं उन्होंने मात्र 2 बूथ प्रति विधानसभा का आकलन लिया है और 2 बूथ प्रति विधानसभा अगर हम गिनते हैं तो 13,000 14,000 टोटल बूथ हैं। उन बूथों के ऊपर जो है ये केवल 0.12% या 0.15% के ऊपर आधारित आपका आकलन हो जाता है। दूसरी चीज़, ये आकलन 4 बजे के समय तक का है या 5 बजे के समय तक का है, जिसके बाद में 11 से 15% तक का वोट गिरा है और हमारा ये मानना है कि हमारा वोटर जो है वो लंच वंच करने के बाद ही घर से निकलता है, तो जो 11 से 15% वोट पड़ा है उसका आकलन इस आकलन में एग्जिट पोल में शामिल नहीं है और एग्जिट पोल जो है वो एग्जैक्ट पोल नहीं है।
And BJP Delhi chief Manoj Tiwari is also confident of BJP forming the government in Delhi. Negating all the exit polls, he claimed that the BJP will win 48 seats. He tweeted, and I quote him, "All the exit polls will fail," and he asked people to save his tweet for February 11th. He also requested not to blame electronic voting machines after the poll results. The number of deaths from China's new coronavirus epidemic jumped to 813 on Sunday after hard-hit Hubei province reported 81 new fatalities. The toll is now higher than the global number of deaths caused by SARS virus that happened in 2002-2003, which killed people to the tune of 774. As the number in its daily update, Hubei's Health Commission also confirmed another 2,147 new cases in the central province, where the outbreak emerged in December. There are now more than 36,690 confirmed cases across China. A 60-year-old U.S. citizen diagnosed with the virus died on Thursday in Wuhan, according to the U.S. Embassy. A Japanese man in his 60s with a suspected coronavirus infection also died in a hospital in Wuhan. The only confirmed fatalities outside the mainland are a Chinese man in the Philippines and a 39-year-old man in Hong Kong. The head of a World Health Organization team investigating the coronavirus outbreak will leave for China next week. The team is likely to include experts from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. China had earlier agreed to allow WHO to form a team of experts to travel to China to learn about the virus and find solutions to the outbreak. Meanwhile, Hong Kong has begun a mandatory 2-week quarantine for anyone arriving from mainland China. Visitors are being told to isolate themselves in hotel rooms or government-run centers, while residents are required to stay in their homes. Flouting the new rules will be punishable with a fine and a prison sentence. There have been 26 confirmed cases of the virus in Hong Kong. Union.Health Secretary Preeti Sudhan on Saturday reviewed the current situation of the novel coronavirus disease with concerned officials. She discussed the present status and preparedness on the issues of spread of novel coronavirus. Universal screening for all the flights from Singapore and Thailand, besides Hong Kong and China, is going on at earmarked aerobridges. The screening of passengers is on in all 21 airports, international seaports and also the border crossings. As of now, 1,636 flights and over 1,76,000 passengers were screened at 21 airports. And back home, Raskha Mantri Rajnath Singh addressed the valedictory ceremony at the conclusion of the Defence Expo 2020 in Lucknow on Saturday. Addressing the gathering, he said that India will become a prominent centre of global defence manufacturing in the coming years. The expo saw participation of the highest number of exhibitors and adoption of the Lucknow Declaration. We get to more in this report.
Known for culture and etiquette, witnessed the best of Indian artillery with the courage and bravery of the Indian Armed Forces on display. And the Navy displaying their skills on the Gomti River, and fighter planes and choppers dominating the skyline of Lucknow. The formal culmination of the first ever Defence Expo 2020 in Lucknow took place on Saturday, when the world watched the courage, artillery and military skills that our country is proud of. Addressing the valedictory function, Raskha Mantri Rajnath Singh said that during the Bandhan ceremony, 71 MOUs were signed while 13 product launches took place. Over 200 agreements were signed during the expo, including 23 agreements with the Uttar Pradesh government.
DefExpo के बंधन समारोह में जहां 71 MOUs और 13 प्रोडक्ट्स लॉन्च हुए, 6 मेजर अनाउंसमेंट्स हुए और 18 टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर एग्रीमेंट हुए। वहीं पर पैरेलल हमारी जो PSUs हैं और फॉरेन OEMs सहित अन्य प्राइवेट कंपनीज के साथ भी करीबन 100 एग्रीमेंट्स हुए हैं। यानी डेफ एक्सपो के दौरान टोटल एग्रीमेंट्स की संख्या 200 पार कर गई और मैं यह मानता हूं कि इन एग्रीमेंट्स ने एक नया इतिहास रच दिया है।
Rajnath Singh said that procurement process is being simplified and that Defence Expo has given a global identity to Lucknow.
हमारी दूरदर्शी और प्रगतिशील नीतियों में बदलाव के कारण ही यह संभव हो पाया है। और जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि इंडस्ट्री लाइसेंसिंग प्रोसेस को सिंप्लीफाई किया गया है, FDI कैप को भी बढ़ाया गया है और साथ ही डिफेंस एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन के लिए जो भी आवश्यक कदम हो सकते हैं वह आवश्यक कदम भी उठाए गए हैं।
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that during DefExpo 2020, investment proposals worth 50,000 crore rupees is on the anvil.
पहली बार 40 देशों के रक्षा मंत्री 70 देशों की सहभागिता के साथ 3000 से अधिक फॉरेन डेलीगेट्स किसी आयोजन में सहभागी बने। 10,000 से अधिक डेलीगेट्स पूरे देश से इस आयोजन में सहभागी बने और मेरा अनुमान है कि कल तक इस पूरे आयोजन में लखनऊ और प्रदेश के 12 लाख से अधिक लोग सहभागी बनने जा रहे हैं। इस पूरे आयोजन में भागीदार बनने जा रहे हैं। अपने आप में एक बड़ा आयोजन हो गया है और डिफेंस की दृष्टि से देखेंगे तो अपने आप में एक महाकुंभ हो गया है।
In this Def Expo, 1,024 exhibitors participated, 172 of them being foreign companies. 40 defense ministers were part of the total 70 foreign delegations that visited Lucknow. It also showed that India is not behind any other country in terms of digital technology prowess. As the Def Expo was thrown open for the public, huge crowds thronged the venue. Thousands of young and old men, women and children were seen visiting various pavilions and trying to acquaint themselves with the defense equipment on display.
Even as Defence Expo 20 came to a close, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh claimed that Defence Expo 20 achieved much more than the previous editions, be it in terms of participation of companies or the promised investments. The strategic dimension of Defence Expo was the first ever India-Africa Defence Ministers Conclave, which added a strategic heft that India wants not just to become a manufacturing hub of defense equipment and technologies, but an exporting one. With my colleagues Sudhir Yadav and Om Prakash Das and camera person Sushil Sharma, Amritpal Singh, DD News, Lucknow.
Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa called on President Ram Nath Kovind at Rashtrapati Bhavan on Saturday. President Kovind said that India has always been keen to strengthen the economic pillar of India-Sri Lanka bilateral relationship. He said that there is a lot that can be achieved for mutual growth and prosperity. President Kovind said that India firmly believed that its growth is linked to peace and prosperity in its neighborhood. He said that a stable and prosperous Sri Lanka is in the best interest of India. President Kovind strongly condemned the Easter terror attacks in Sri Lanka last year. He said that both leaders committed to continue their resolve to fight and defeat terrorism. Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held bilateral talks with his Sri Lankan counterpart Mahinda Rajapaksa in New Delhi on Saturday. Both the leaders discussed a number of issues, including terrorism and bilateral ties in key sectors. Prime Minister Modi said that India and Sri Lanka have fought against terror and both the countries have agreed to further increase cooperation against this menace to humanity.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Saturday said that terrorism is a major problem in the region and India and Sri Lanka have fought it befittingly. Delivering a press statement after holding talks with his Sri Lankan counterpart Mahinda Rajapaksa, PM said both countries will further increase cooperation against terror.
आतंकवाद हमारे क्षेत्र में एक बहुत बड़ा खतरा है। हम दोनों देशों ने इस समस्या को डटकर मुकाबला किया है। पिछले साल अप्रैल में श्रीलंका में ईस्टर डे पर दर्दनाक और बर्बर आतंकी हमले हुए थे। ये हमले सिर्फ श्रीलंका पर ही नहीं, पूरी मानवता पर भी आघात थे। और इसलिए आज की हमारी बातचीत में हमने आतंकवाद के खिलाफ अपना सहयोग और बढ़ाने पर चर्चा की। मुझे इस बात पर प्रसन्नता है कि भारत के प्रमुख ट्रेनिंग संस्थानों में आतंकवाद विरोधी कोर्सेज में श्रीलंका के पुलिस अधिकारियों ने हिस्सा लेना शुरू किया है। दोनों देशों की एजेंसीज के बीच संपर्क और सहयोग को और अधिक मजबूत करने के लिए भी हम प्रतिबद्ध हैं।
Prime Minister said that the issue of reconciliation in Sri Lanka was also discussed in the meeting, and he expressed hope that Sri Lanka will take all steps for maintaining equality, peace and justice in United Sri Lanka.
श्रीलंका में रिकंसिलिएशन से संबंधित मुद्दों पर हमने खुले मन से बातचीत की। मुझे विश्वास है कि श्रीलंका सरकार यूनाइटेड श्रीलंका के भीतर समानता, न्याय, शांति और सम्मान के लिए तमिल लोगों की अपेक्षाओं को साकार करेगी। इसके लिए ये आवश्यक होगा कि श्रीलंका के संविधान में 13वें संशोधन को लागू करने के साथ साथ रिकंसिलिएशन की प्रक्रिया को आगे ले जाया जाए।
PM said Sri Lanka's development and peace is important to India, and New Delhi gives special priority to ties between both the nations as part of our neighborhood first policy. Sri Lankan PM Mahinda Rajapaksa thanked PM Modi for his priority to neighborhood first policy and expressed hope that bilateral ties in key sectors would scale new heights in the coming days.
I want to thank Prime Minister Modi for his government's neighborhood first policy and the priority that he attached to relations with Sri Lanka. We agree that our cooperation is multifaceted, with the priority given to a number of areas, including security, economy, culture, and social sectors.
Both the leaders also discussed ways to increase tourism potential and people-to-people connect between the two neighbors. With Anuj Yadav and Shailendra Mishra, Bureau Report, DD News.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that GST collection all through the country for the last 3 months amounted to more than 1 lakh crore rupees each month. Speaking to reporters in Chennai on Saturday, she said that no state was sidelined when it came to sharing of revenue from the tax. She said that areas of shares in GST, including Tamil Nadu, will be paid into installments. Replying to a query, she said that any issue with regard to GST is placed before the GST Council for discussion. Finance Minister said that the government has allocated 2,83,000 crore rupees for development of rural areas and agriculture by way of 16 salient points. The newly electrified section of Chunar-Chopan in Uttar Pradesh under North Central Railway has finally been inaugurated. This is an important step towards eco-friendly train operations. The newly electrified rail section of Chunar-Chopan was inaugurated by Suresh C. Angadi, Union Minister of State for Railways, by flagging off the first electric locomotive hauled passenger train through video conferencing from DRM office, Bengaluru. On the occasion, Minister of State Suresh C. Angadi said that the rectification of Chunar-Chopan section will help in transportation of goods and passengers from eastern and east central part of the country to North India, and it will also help in overall development of Sonanchal area of Uttar Pradesh. And an international update, a Thai soldier who killed at least 21 people in a shooting spree remained holed up in a shopping mall with an unknown number of people feared trapped inside despite repeated attempts by armed police to flush the gunman out. Volleys of gunfire rang out before dawn, hours after Thai security services stormed the ground floor of the Terminal 21 mall in Korat, where the gunman held out armed with assault weapons stolen from his barracks. The scores of stunned and terrified shoppers fled the shopping centre as police entered the mall, escaping a bloody rampage that the gunman relayed via Facebook posts. But it was unclear how many people remained inside the mall after police said that they had taken control of the ground floor of the complex late Saturday. Over 12 hours since the rampage began, Authorities gave no fresh details on the movements of the attacker, who is a junior army officer identified. In France, 5 British nationals, including a child, have tested positive for coronavirus at a ski resort. In total, a group of 11 people, including the 5 who have tested positive, have been hospitalized and are being examined after sharing lodgings in late January with a British man believed to have contracted the virus in Singapore. Also, as a preventive measure, 2 schools near the ski resort have been closed for this week, and students will be monitored for signs of virus. Meanwhile, French Prime Minister called an emergency meeting on Saturday to discuss next steps in fighting the virus. The government has decided to harden its travel warning to China, cautioning against all travel there unless in case of imperative need. New South Wales, an East Coast state where nearly a third of Australia's population lives, saw some areas drenched by the heaviest rainfall in almost 20 years by Saturday, with severe weather and flash flood warnings. There were still more than 35 active fires in New South Wales on Saturday, half of them yet to be contained, but officials said that the downpours, which are expected to continue into next week, may dampen them. Speaking at a new conference, New South Wales Emergency Service Minister David Elliott warned the public to be vigilant in the flood conditions, with 13 flood rescue operations launched over 2 days. After months of destructive wildfires that have razed millions of hectares of land, Australia has been hit in the recent weeks by wild weather that has brought heavy downpour, hailstorms and heat waves. A UK-based OneWeb company has sent 34 satellites into the orbit on a single Soyuz rocket from Baikonur port in Kazakhstan to provide global broadband internet. The Soyuz rocket will orbit for a few hours before the separation of the satellites take place at an altitude of approximately 450 kilometers. The mission is expected to last for 3 hours and 45 minutes. However, this is the 50th Soyuz mission conducted by Arianespace, as the company plans to perform 19 more medium-lift Soyuz from 3 spaceports by 2021. The famous Taiwan Lantern Festival opened in Taichung on Saturday. Putting aside worries about the coronavirus, tourists and locals attended the annual festival with great enthusiasm. 10 rounds of 150 lanterns each were released into the sky by locals and tourists. The government, however, urged the event goers to take precautions against the deadly coronavirus. Visitors had their temperature taken and wore face masks to prevent the spread of the disease. Taiwan has reported only 16 cases of coronavirus as compared to more than 31,000 in China. And the famous Venice Carnival kicked off yesterday with thousands of Venetians and tourists lining the banks of the canals to watch the parade of floats. Floating, illuminated structures and breathtaking light displays over the famed waterways of Venice marked the opening of the Lagoon City's annual carnival. Now this year, the theme goes as Amoris Causa, which means the honor to the wisest of madness is to celebrate love, feelings and emotions. The nighttime spectacles sent off 2020 edition of one of the world's oldest carnivals to a romantic start. While the city fills with thousands of tourists from across Italy and the world, during the 2 weeks of carnival, the carnival will conclude on 25th of February. Let's get you updates from the world of sports. Now, Indian men's hockey team defeated world champions Belgium 2-1 in the men's FIH Pro League at Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar on Saturday. It was a cracker of a game between the two sides. Belgium, in terms of making chances, were better, but India emerged on top with the final scoreline of 2-1. Mandeep Singh and Ramandeep Singh scored for India in their victory, while goalkeepers Krishna Pathak and P.R. Srijesh did an incredible job to help India get over the line. The second game will be played on Sunday at the same venue. And India will be looking for their 5th Under-19 World Cup trophy when they take on Bangladesh in the final. The Prem Garg-led side have a perfect record in the tournament so far, having beaten the likes of Australia and Pakistan in the knockout stages to get to the final. Having already won the title a record 4 times, including the last edition in 2018, they will be looking to extend their domination at the Under-19 level. Bangladesh will be playing their maiden Under-19 World Cup final, having knocked out hosts South Africa in the quarterfinals and defeated New Zealand in the semi-finals. And in other news, in Mexico, a zoo in Puebla City is celebrating the birth of 3 lion cubs. The cubs, including 2 males and 1 female, were born on 10th of January at the zoo and are in good health conditions. Under a successful breeding program, this Mexican zoo has reproduced nearly 50 endangered species that were on the verge of extinction. Born to Nala and Wallace, these cubs are being raised well in the zoo, and after growing older, they will eventually be shifted to other zoos to help conserve their species. That's it in this edition of the news this hour. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.